so what we're going to do now is the BookTube Bio Tag. This was originated with Jessica over at Jessica's Library Card. You guys, I could swear I have already done this tag. Like, I looked through the prompts as I listened to a couple of the other creators doing this prompt. I thought, I've already done this. This is already on my channel somewhere. And it may be, okay? But we're going to redo it because I think it was Book Chat with Pat who said one of the other booktubers recommended that we use this tag as a footnote, not a footnote, as a bookmark for folks coming to the channel. Like, when you new folks come here to the channel, you don't know who I am. I'm just this crazy woman who's like rambling at you about book stuff and parrots for some reason, right? So this BookTube tag gives you an opportunity to stop in and go, who is this crazy woman? Here we go. This tag is going to tell you who this crazy woman is. So let us dive in. I first saw this happening this time around with Book Chat with Pat and also with Shelley Swearingen. I really like to watch Shelley's videos. She does a very nice job. Well, so does Pat. I mean, they both do just a very nice job with their tags, with their reviews. Very nice. I can highly recommend them. And further down in this tag, I will dive into the BookTube Bio Tag. Number 1, who are you? Share a little bit about yourself, as much as you feel comfortable. Okay, so you guys, I don't want to get too rambly with this, so I'm going to read you my bio. I've got the bio for author Sandy Linder. This is the bio I send off to conventions, whatever. This is the bio I send off to people when they request it. Sandy Linder is an international best-selling poet and award-winning author of fantasy, literary fiction, poetry, and short story work. She's a construction magazine editor by day and author of girl power fantasy novels by night, living in Florida to help with sea turtle conservation and parrot rescue. You can follow her author page on Amazon, check her website at sandylinderinc.com, or subscribe to her newsletter at this link. With a 4-year degree in English and 30-year career in publishing, Sandy's successes include traditionally and self-published novels, hundreds of magazine articles, multiple short stories in competitive anthologies, a handful of technical writing awards, a handful of creative writing awards, a Pushcart Prize nomination in 2020, and the 2023 Michael Nost Wings Award. Sandy's been writing stories since she was knee-high to a grasshopper, when her great-grandmother shared her odd little tales of squeaky ghost spiders around an apartment complex in southern Illinois. The stories have developed to include strong young ladies working with dragons to save worlds from terrible fates, but those pesky spiders still show up from time to time. There's always something brewing. It's okay, yeah, that's it. Okay, that's good enough. That's my bio. That's me in a nutshell. Okay, guys? Is there anything else you need to know about me? I mean, the parrot rescue thing, I have pet birds. The writing thing, I write books. I've written, let's see, I have 21 like long form titles out there in the world, but then I've got a bunch of short stories and poetry anthologies and things like that. Yeah, the writing is the dream that I always wanted to do since I was a little girl, like it says in my bio. Yeah, there you go. But yeah, I've got pet birds that rule my house. I have some chickens in the backyard that give me eggs. They're my fluff nuggets. That's kind of me in a nutshell. That's what I do. I write. And then I edit the magazine. That's what I do. Oh my gosh, you guys, is that it? Is that all I am? That's all I am. That's good enough. Number 2, how long have you been on BookTube? You guys, I started BookTube in 2018. So that's how long I've been on BookTube. But there was that hiatus in there. I did have, I started in 2018, and then in September of 2018, I suffered a loss in my life. One of my pet birds passed away, and he had been with me for 19 years. I weaned him as a fledgling, and for 19 years, he was my constant little companion. And his passing was unexpected and horrifying to me. It was awful. So I went into a depression. I spiraled and stopped eating and stopped doing things I enjoyed, and this channel suffered for that. I stopped doing videos. I stopped recording things. I didn't stop reading, but I did slow my reading a lot. I didn't read a lot of books. And so there was no content to bring you, even if I could film content. Okay. So there was that hiatus in there where I didn't film for this channel. So I did take a break, like at the end of 2018 for a while. And then I came back to it though. I missed the reading and talking about books and doing that stuff. I missed that part of this channel. So I did come back to it. Yay. So I have been on BookTube off and on. I've been on BookTube since 2018. I've been like doing it more consistently since I think 2022. I think in 2022, I was back. I was back. Number 3. I should have looked that up and like written it down. Okay. Number 3. What kinds of books do you love to read? And has BookTube had an effect on what you read? I know that I love to read fantasy books. Epic fantasy, I really dig. But any type of fantasy, really, I'm going to be interested in that. I'm going to be drawn to it. If it's got a dragon in it, I'm there. Which is why I started the Dragon Reading Challenge back in 2024. When the Chinese Year of the Dragon started up, I started up the Dragon Reading Challenge. And I've renewed the Dragon Reading Challenge for 2025. That's what all those hand gestures just meant. But has BookTube had an effect on what I read? Yes, I believe so. I believe BookTube has encouraged me to expand my reading horizons. I don't read a lot. I didn't read a lot of romance until BookTube. I've always, how should I phrase this? I haven't always read a lot of indie authors. Once I got into the publishing arena, like in 2006, when I got my first contract, then I started reading other indie pubbed authors because I was with an independent publishing house out of Cape Coral, Florida, and there were other authors in that publishing house. And so I was reading their works. Of course, they're in the family with me, right? So I was reading their works, and I started reading other indie pubbed authors and realizing, hey, some of these stories are really pretty good, right? So there was that introduction to indie pubbed authors before I was on BookTube. I'm getting rambly. Sorry, guys, we're starting to ramble. Here it goes. Then once I got into BookTube, I could bring some of those indie pubbed authors to an audience. You see what I'm saying? Are you tracking with me? Yeah. So BookTube didn't really change that, but it broadened that, I guess I should say. Also, horror novels. I didn't read a lot of horror before BookTube, but now that I'm on this BookTube channel, I have brought more horror stories to you guys. Therefore, I'm reading more horror stories. That makes sense. Also, how is it? I've made a note here. Oh, the clock reading challenge. Yeah, there have been a couple of reading challenges and readathons. Like back in 2018, I participated in a couple of readathons that were going on. I haven't done any readathons lately. Like I guess I haven't found or noticed any going on. They probably are, and I'm just not noticing them in the BookTube community. But there was like a science fiction readathon where over a certain number of days, you were supposed to read certain books in the science fiction category that fit certain themes. Like I remember distinctly one of the themes was a science fiction book that had like a circle on the cover. But that was encouraging you to find a book that was new to you, right? And I did. I read The Rings of Titan. I should have looked this up before I started talking, you guys. Anyway, I read Kurt Vonnegut's story, and I had not read that one before. There you go. So that readathon brought something new to me. BookTube brought something new to me there. All right. It had an effect on what I read there. Let's move on to question number 4. What do you enjoy about making BookTube videos? What do I enjoy about this? I don't know. It's kind of crazy. It's random. It lets me be random. That's what I enjoy. Number 5, what do you not enjoy about making BookTube videos? I do not enjoy fighting with the technology. I use StreamYard to record and then edit these videos. I don't like to edit these videos. The editing of videos is not my strong suit. This technology that we're working with here, the lighting, the ring light that is crazy, that is not my favorite. It's not my strong suit. My strong suit is wordsmithing. I'm a magazine editor by day, all right? I write very technical articles by day, and then I write fantasy and epic world building stuff by night. That is my strength. I can edit that stuff. I can edit for other writers. That's my strength. Editing little tiny bits of a video, not my strength. And you will notice that if you're on this channel for any length of time. Okay. Number 6, what video on your channel are you the most proud of? Okay. There are a couple of videos on this channel that I recorded for other writers, for other authors, and they deal with like book marketing type of things, like doing book signings, and boy, there's one or two on editing and how to work with editors, that kind of thing. I'm really proud of those because I'm just like word vomiting information from the trenches. I mean, I've been doing this since 2006. Okay. So there's a lot of mistakes I've made and a lot of things I've done right. And I just share it. And I'm not asking people to pay for that. I'm just sharing the information. If it can help someone, awesome. I hope that it is helpful. If it can help someone avoid a mistake I've made, then please, I hope I can help you avoid a mistake that I have already made. Don't make the same mistake I did. Hopefully those videos are helpful to people, and I am most proud of those. Yeah. Number 7, is there anything you wish was different about BookTube? You know, it is what it is. I know there are people who hate that phrase, but BookTube has something for everyone. So I don't think there's anything I wish was different because there's something for everyone on BookTube. If you want to find a channel where all the person does is sit down and rant and complain and be mean and angry about different books, you can find that. If you want to find a channel where the person sits down and is funny and satirical and humorous and just laughs his or her way through comedic books, you can find that. If you want to sit down and find a channel where the person is outdoors and like walking around talking about how different books help you see different seasons, you can find that. I mean, there's something for everyone in the BookTube community. And I'm really enjoying the people who do content similar to mine, where we just sit down and talk about a book, talk about several books that are similar in nature. I really like that kind of content because we're just riffing about books, and I like that. I like the less structured and the less produced, if you know what I mean, the less produced, overproduced videos. There are some videos where, boy, every other sentence has like a video smooshed into it or some kind of like a captioned picture stuffed into it to like illustrate a point. And that's nice. Those are quality, but I don't necessarily need someone spoon feeding me the way I'm supposed to feel about what they're saying. Just tell me, just talk about it. Let's just talk about books. I really like those channels where we just talk about books. I like that. Okay, so I didn't really answer the question, did I? Is there anything you wish was different about BookTube? I probably wish people were nicer to each other. I should have said that. Okay, number 8. Name 3 books you have reviewed on your channel that you feel represent who you are as a reader. Okay, you guys, I thought about this one. Before I started, I thought about this one and I typed in the Pit Dragon Trilogy review, the 2 Twisted Crowns review, and the Hunter series review. Okay, and then I realized I was looking through, I looked through, you know, I've got like 140 some odd reviews posted in my review playlist. and I'm missing a few. There's a few not in there, which I thought was odd. I'm gonna have to like locate them and put them in. Anyway, I noticed I was looking at series. The series books were showcasing what kind of reader I am. And those series were in fantasy. No surprise, they were showcasing what kind of reader I am. But I also felt like none of them were getting to the indie reader side of me. So I felt like I was maybe leaving something out. So I don't know that I'm answering this question as fully as I could be by limiting myself to only 3. But there you go. I mean, I read a lot of indie books, you guys. And that's what I focus on here at this channel. If a book is written by a self-published author or an independent publishing house published author, I am more likely to pick it up and read it and bring it to you guys than if it's published by one of the big 5. I say that, and I've got 2 Tor Publishing House books that I'm going to be doing a review for this weekend. But I am, like, if I have a choice between 2 books that I'm about to purchase somewhere, I will pick up the indie book first. If there are 2 books that I'm, weighing, and I only have $20 to spend, I'm going to buy the indie book first. The traditional published book will just have to wait for another day. Okay, it's the indie book is the one I'm going to read and the one I'm going to bring to you guys. That's just the way it is. Some things will never change. All right, number 9. Name 3 booktubers whose content inspires you. Oh yeah. The content that inspires me to like do stuff here on this channel, Joe Linsdell, you guys, she's the one who inspired me to start this channel. Okay, Joe Linsdell, Jim's books, reading and stuff. Jim, he's so down to earth, and his his alphabet tag. You guys, I think I stopped at the letter M. I need to get back to it because I was enjoying that. Jim's alphabet tag was inspiring me not just to do an alphabet tag, but it was inspiring me to read stuff that I otherwise would not have been reading. You guys, it was inspiring me to go, oh my gosh, I haven't read anything lately by a Japanese author. I need to do that. Stuff like that was going on as I was looking at that tag from Jim. So definitely, Jim is definitely someone whose content inspires me. And then Kaylee at Luminous Libro, I've been following her since 2018. Her channel used to be named something else, and now I've forgotten what it was. But she was taking donations and getting books for missionaries' kids, right? And I think the name of her channel has something to do with that. I can't remember it now. I've slept since then. Yeah, I can't remember it now, but I remember donating to that cause because I wanted to help her channel. I remember donating to that cause, and I've followed her since then, and I've just watched her channel flourish since then. I enjoy her content. She reads a lot of classics, and I like that. Yeah, classics could have been something that represents how I am as a reader. Okay. Shall we move on? Let's move on. Number 10, share the love. It can be a challenge to find your audience. You are not kidding. Okay. Name 3 booktubers who you think need more hype. Okay, 3. I don't think I'm going to limit this to 3. And also, I don't think that like Book Chat with Pat and Shelley Swearingen, I don't think they need more hype, but they need to be shouted out. Okay, I need to mention that, yes, those 2, those are the 2 where I saw this tag happening. Well, Joe Linsdell, obviously, she needs to be shouted out. There is a gal, you guys. I'm going to put this BookTubers link in the drop-down box below because right now I cannot remember her name, but she has changed the name of her channel within the last couple of months. Okay, but she does reviews of like genres of books. She'll do like 5 or 6 books that she has recently read in a genre, and she'll bring like a review of all of them together and talk about all of them as a group. And I really appreciate that. She's done that for like the vampire genre, fantasy genre. I think she did sci-fi. She did like a young adult fantasy. She groups them together and she'll talk about all of the books. And I think she's done it where she's like ranked them as well. I'm rambling a little bit here, but the point is I very much have enjoyed her content and I want to give her a shout out. I want to bring her information to you. I just can't remember her name right now because I'm crazy. I'll put that in the drop down box below. Yeah. You guys, is that enough for this tag? Thumbs up for getting through the bio tag. This is me. Because it's a little bit crazy here at the channel. It's a little bit random. It gets a little chaotic at times. There's a lot of mayhem. That's how it is here at this channel. If you enjoy that, I welcome you to subscribe.